Right, so welcome to my official reaction to UFC 295, which took place over the weekend. Main event, Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. I thought this was a really good card, like a solid 8 out of 10. Probably the best card we've had since UFC 290, which is Volkanovski versus Rodriguez, right? I'm going to quickly go over the early prelims. The early prelims were really good. This KO was crazy. Jamal Emmers taking on Dennis Bazooka, something like that. Joshua Van versus Kevin Borjas, that was an okay fight. John Castaneda versus Kang Young Ho, it was okay. Jared Gordon versus Mark Madsen. Jared Gordon gets his first knockout since his UFC debut back in 2017. Mark Madsen's terrible. Prelims, they slowed down a bit. Nazim Senkov versus Borshev, really good fight. I agree with the decision. It was definitely a draw. I don't know how Borshev survived that knockdown in the second round, and I'm pretty sure this got fight of the night, and it 110% deserves fight of the night. It was an amazing fight. I do not know how Borshev was not knocked out in that second round. It was crazy. Then we had Mateusz Rebecki versus Roosevelt Roberts. Went the way, you could see it going. Roosevelt Roberts came in a short notice. He isn't that great. I did say he probably deserves another shot in the UFC just for stepping up on short notice. Don't think he'll do very well, unfortunately. I did have him picked to win TUF 31. Obviously, didn't go ahead and do that. Then we had Tabatha Ricci versus Lupina Gordinez. I don't know how one judge scored this 30-27 for Tabatha Ricci. It was a Lupina Gordinez win, 110%. I don't even think these numbers are accurate because they do not look accurate. You can maybe argue the first round 29-28 for Tabatha Ricci for Lupina Rodriguez because of the knockdown in the first round. I don't think so. Steve Erceg versus Alessandro Costa. Impressed with Steve Erceg's performance. Very disciplined, patient, and decent fight IQ as well. Now getting into the main card, this is the really interesting stuff. Diego Lopez versus Pat Sabatini. Crazy knockout, right hand from Diego Lopez, made me a fan. He has a lot of hype in a minute. This is the fight that made me a fan. I don't know how the odds makers had Pat Sabatini as a favourite. It was Diego Lopez all day. I took a chance on Matt Frevola. I kind of knew Benoit Saint Denis was going to win. But I took a chance on Matt Frevola because he wins fights he's not meant to win, loses fights he's meant to win, and he was not meant to win this fight. Beautiful head kick from Benoit Saint. I just forgot to say his name, from Saint Denis. France actually has a really good star on their hands outside of like Cyril Gane and Manium Fiorot. Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. This fight had me crying. It was so funny. Mackenzie, she can't strike. How the fuck did she knock down Angela Hill? I'll never know. See, 4 knockdowns from Jessica Andrade. Mackenzie Dern was shot about, how many takedowns did it say she got? Shot about 4 takedowns. 2 of them were in the first round. She was running in. She would find success, but she was first of all running in with her chin wide open. She get clocked by Jessica Andrade, and that's basically the story of the fight. She left her chin wide up in the air and didn't get the takedowns. She did get a throw in the first round, but then Jessica Andrade scrambled up, so I don't know why that doesn't have that listed. Good win from Jessica Andrade. I keep calling Andrade. Got her back in the win column. Really impressive. Well, not really impressive, but a good win nonetheless. Now, these are the fights I have a lot to talk about. Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. You'll see my reaction in a couple of days. Oh my god, I've never been more happy with a fight result ever. I genuinely believe, Michael Bisping was going on about, Tom Aspinall could be the greatest heavyweight of all time. In all honesty, I can see him being the greatest heavyweight of all time one day, because he is incredible. Pavlovich did not land one strike. He landed a couple more than one. Tom Aspinall's clearly, his game plan was probably to take him down, but he came in there, was doing really good work with the calf kicks, did get clipped, took it well, was moving his head well, found the shot, knocked him out cold. Tom Aspinall, he's too fast, his footwork's really good. I think there'll be a video on this in another couple of days as well. I think he slices through John Jones. I think he runs through the wife beater. Yeah, Tom Aspinall was the next. He's a different breed, and can't take anything away from Pavlovich either. Pavlovich is an incredible fighter still an elite fighter. I think the only people that really give Tom Aspinall problems is probably Pavlovich, right? I know it's obviously over in 69 seconds. Nice. But he always has that chance to knock you out, right? And Tom Aspinall did get hit in this fight. Yeah, I think he has the best chance. Outside of him, it's probably Cyril Gane. If Cyril Gane can defend the takedowns, which I think he could, right? And on the feet, it's close-ish, but I still think Tom Aspinall gets it done. I think he beats every heavyweight on the roster in a minute. Main event, Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. Cagey. It was a fairly cagey first round. Pereira was doing some beautiful work with his leg kicks. He's so good at that. Like he'll just. It looks like he's tapping you, but they all hurt, right? And there's no telegraph, and they're so awkward. It's just bang, 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 and he times them so well, and he can check kicks as well. Prochazka could hit him, and he did take him down in that first round. But I think the leg kicks from Pereira did way too much damage for Prochazka to even win that round. Cannot win a round of control time. You've got to do something with that control time, damage him. And where Pereira had done damage in a round, the control time means nothing if there was no damage inflicted. That's how MMA scoring works. Yeah. Round 2, I did feel like Prochazka was getting to him a bit. He was landing good. He had Pereira backing up, but then Pereira comes in with I think it was a right hand left hook, drops him, kind of. Definitely stumbles him. Yuri goes in a single leg. Pereira's landing elbows, which right on temple, which is like really that's not good for you, is it? It kind of looked like at first Pereira would use his hips to just kind of shove Yuri to the ground. But Yuri did confirm after the fight, because he is a warrior, that he was out. So at first I thought the stoppage was a bit off, and I still think it's kind of a bit off. I still think you could have maybe, let him take 2 more shots. But definitely not a horrible stoppage. I don't know where Alex Pereira called out Israel Adesanya after the fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that at some point, not now, because it doesn't really make much sense. It's Pereira versus Jamahal Hill, and that's pretty obvious, right? In terms of that fight, I don't like Jamahal Hill's chances coming off of that Achilles break, and Pereira's leg kicks. And Pereira has also shown in this fight and the Jan Blachowicz fight, and kind of the Adesanya fight, the first MMA fight, that on the ground he can get up, but one thing people say he lies on the ground, he can't get up, and he doesn't work off his back. He's really good defensively on the ground. He's really good, and I think that was definitely on display in this fight. He's really good on the ground, defensively. He doesn't really do much offense, but he'll stay defensive and try and get up. He won't try and stay defensive, try and be offensive, try and land little elbows off his back, and then try and submit you. He is focused on getting up and staying defensive, and I think that's a great. And I don't think Jamahal Hill would have much to do with him on the ground. I think the leg kicks would be a massive problem. They're a massive problem for most people, right? Yeah, I don't feel like he has a chance to beat Magomed Ankalaev. I don't like his chances though. Say if Johnny Walker makes his way into that title shot, which I think he could, I think he pretty much chins Johnny Walker pretty easily. I don't feel like there's many other people in that division. Let me look it up actually. UFC rankings. I don't feel like there's many contenders that he couldn't beat in that top 5. I don't know why it's so zoomed out. Rakic, I think he has a chance against. Blachowicz, he's already beat. So he's got a really good record, isn't he? He's got Strickland, Adesanya, Blachowicz, Jiri. That's a really good record. Pereira makes history. 2-division world champion in MMA. 2-division champion in Glory kickboxing, which is elite, right? Just amazing what he's been able to do in 11 MMA fights. You know what I mean? He is literally a newcomer. Been in the UFC for 2 years? What is he? Did he just under half what Conor McGregor did? Just under half of how long it took McGregor to do that? Of course, McGregor did it simultaneously. Yeah, very impressed with Pereira. I love watching him fight. I do hope they get that trilogy at 205. Maybe if Adesanya can get that middleweight belt back, which I don't think he can, because I think Duplessis beats him again. I think Strickland beats him again. But maybe if Adesanya can get that belt again, then maybe we could see that super fight. It's a super fight either way, but you know what I mean. Really good card. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. It's really good. We got Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig coming up. That's an okay. Chase Hoover versus Jordan Levitt. The fuck? It's just this card, which is stacked coming up. Benil Darius versus Arman Tsarukyan. Dan Hooker versus Bobby Green. Rob Font versus Davison Figueiredo. Sean Brady versus Kelvin Gastelum. Khalil Roundtree's on the card. Oh my god, that's a really good card. Who's on the prelims? Clay Guida, Misha Tate. It's a really good card, that. And then you got Song Yudong versus Chris Gutierrez. That needs some fights on it. Get Johnny Walker versus Magomed Ankalaev 2 on that card. And then UFC 296. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that card as well. It's a good card. What's the prelims looking like on that? Josh Emmett, what? When was that added? Josh Emmett versus Giga Chikadze. Who the fuck is who? I'm sorry, who's Brian Ortega gonna fight? That's really confusing. Yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts. You'll probably see predictions for UFC 296. That will probably be the next prediction. I actually might do predictions for this, because this is looking like a good card, so I might actually do predictions for that. Oh wow, he's got Azarate Mazakhanov. He's got a really tough fight there. Yeah, that's just been